Hello and welcome to the Music Production Podcast, the show where we talk about all things making music. My name is Brian Funk. I'm your host. You can check out my work at brianfunk.com. Happy New Year, everybody. This is December 31st, the last day of 2019, and we are going to talk about a fun way to start 2020, and that's called Jamuary 2020. Before I get into that, I just want to invite you to check out the Music Production Club, which you can find at brianfunk.com/MPC. This is a monthly subscription service I have that gets you new tools in your inbox all the time. Basically, you'll get a steady flow of mostly Ableton Live related things for your own music. Right now, I'm running a little special, and I'm going to extend it till January 2nd, so there's a couple extra days here. But if you join the club, you're going to get the special holiday update, which includes a whole bunch of Ableton Live packs, the Korg MS-20, the Prophets of Doom, the Big Layered Synth, the cassette tape Prophets, analog drums, transitions, noises, and effects, Fat Moog Bass Volume 1, Fat Moog Bass Volume 2. And you'll also get my live performance with Ableton Live video course, an Ableton Live performance template, the Ableton Live Pack Archive, which is the first 175 free Ableton Live packs I've ever made in one convenient download, an MPC Exclusives Pack, which are sounds, I think there's about 40 of them now, that you can only get by joining the club. You'll get special offers, discounts, and free stuff from some companies around the internet that I'm buddies with. And there's also the Music Production Club Discord server, which is kind of a place where we can chat and share ideas, share stuff, samples, music, homework challenges, and our homework challenge for the month of January is going to be Jamuary. So check out brianfunk.com/MPC to learn all about the Music Production Club, and I hope to get you as a member. Now's the best time to join. So let's talk about this challenge, this Jamuary challenge. Now, as far as I can tell, this, at least from my knowledge, I can source back to Cuckoo. If you know Cuckoo, he is a YouTube internet personality for music gear, especially like teenage engineering stuff, electron stuff. He's usually the guy that kind of comes out and shows you how to use these new items. I learned how to use my OP1 a lot from him when it first came out. Anyway, Jamuary is a challenge to make a small piece of music every day for the month of January. Now you can make a little jam, a little musical noodle, pull out a few pieces of equipment, just try something, but you were to make a small piece of music every single day. And you share that either on, say, Instagram with the hashtag Jamuary2020 hashtag. You can share in other places too, but Instagram seems to be one of the best places to do it. You'll just type in hashtag Jamuary2020 and you'll see a lot of people doing that. And you can put that hashtag in your own projects and it will show up. I guess Instagram's kind of nice because the videos are about a minute long. So that kind of keeps things short. There's no rules to Jamuary really that says you have to keep it short like that, but I like to think of this as like a very low pressure thing. I've done it in the past and I've really gotten quite a lot out of the process. And for this Jamuary, I'm going to try to do it every day of the month, although I know that's going to be difficult. If I don't do it, it's okay. The point is that you're trying to do it, that you're trying to show up and make some music every single day. And I just want to put out like a few ideas for this. Some things to think about if you do decide to join this little fun party. The first thing that you got to really think about is don't worry about if what you're doing is actually any good. You don't need to make good jams for Jamuary. That's not the point. The point is just showing up. If you're too focused on making everything sound good and being artistic and important musically, it's going to put a lot of stress and pressure on you, and that's going to kind of rob you of the adventure of Jamuary. The adventure of making music in general, I think, gets robbed when you're too worried about it being like something great. So since it's every single day, you really don't have a lot of time to work on things for very long. So this forces you to just kind of move on and get going. And I think that's a good spirit to try to work on with music making. It kind of makes you less critical, less judgmental. So don't worry about being so good. Just make whatever you can. This is, as I said, I consider Jamuary as practicing not being judgmental. It's like an exercise in not being judgmental. Don't worry about it. Don't even think if it's good or bad. Just make your jam and share it and put it out there. This will also help you get over the fear of sharing your music too. You're going to be putting out a lot of things over the course of the month, and it's okay if some of them aren't that great. whatever. The point isn't that you're making great music. It's that you're making something, and you're getting down and you're getting over that initial hump of starting something, and you're getting over that difficulty of nervousness of sharing music. You're doing this over and over again. And if you do it for all 31 days of January, then you might find yourself a lot more comfortable with those aspects of the music production process. So I'm going to look at it as an exercise in not being judgmental and discipline as well. By doing something regularly, you build a discipline on it. There are going to be days you don't want to do it. You're just not going to feel like it. You're not going to have a lot of time. This is when you really need to flex that muscle and do it anyway. And you're going to feel a great sense of satisfaction if you do. I didn't do it so much last year, but when I did Jamuary in 2018, it was quite a victory for me. I did a podcast on it, a couple of them, I think, just talking about what I learned from it and the whole process. And I got a lot out of it that really stuck with me. And a big thing is the discipline of just showing up and getting to work. The other thing I'm going to be thinking about when I'm in Jamuary is just the idea of being present and being in the moment when I'm making music. I think when we start worrying about how good something is, if people will like it, if it's worth sharing, we really come out of the moment and we're not in the process of making music anymore. Now we're in the process of wondering if it's good enough to see the light of day, to be shared. And more than likely, the ideas you have in your short one-day jams are going to be little baby ideas, and they're not going to have the chance to be developed and edited and worked on and made into something special. So if you get too much in this mind space of like, is it going to be good and accepted and loved, it's going to take you out of the moment. And I'm going to use this as a kind of a chance to work on almost like a meditation of just being with the music and not letting distractions and outside thoughts get inside my head that will distract me from actually creating. And I'm hoping that by doing this over and over again throughout the month of January, I can make this part of my normal process, that I don't worry about what it'll become. It is good enough if I'm just doing it. It's worth sharing if I'm just doing it. Just showing up is really the thing that you're doing here. And who knows, you might get lucky too. You might have actual things that you can work on. But if not, so what? Who cares? I think January is also a great time to learn new things. So maybe over the course of this holiday season, you've got some new toys to play with. Well, there's a good chance you don't know how to use them yet. You don't know them inside and out. You don't know their characteristics and what's their strength and what's their weakness. January is a really great time to explore this. I think having some kind of focus will really help you get the most out of this. And if nothing else, worst case scenario, you come away at the end of January knowing a new piece of gear, a new synth, a new software, whatever it is you decide to focus on, you'll know it really well because you will have spent time every single day for a whole month. And that in itself might be worth the price of admission and the difficulties of actually showing up and making music. So maybe what you do is you pick something that you want to learn and learn a little aspect of it each day. And then that's really all you need to do. And then that by default kind of takes away this idea of, is it good enough? Is it important? Is it worth sharing? Because the idea is that you just kind of learned something. And that's, I guess, about it. I don't want to make it too big a thing because it shouldn't be. It should be fun. Remember how making music is supposed to be fun? We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to have results and make good stuff and impress people and impress ourselves and move forward all the time. But don't forget that this is about making fun. And I think Jamuary is a really great exercise in that. So please join me. Hashtag Jamuary 2020 on Instagram. If you're a Music Production Club member, I've got a channel on our Discord where we can share all our little experiments. I'm going to try to video as much of these as I can, or post them with SoundCloud if nothing else. But I kind of want to focus on the process, I think. So you might see maybe even some live streams going on this. So stay tuned and check it out. And I'm sure on the podcast, we'll have some thoughts about this whole process, and I'll share those with you along the way. Maybe give a pep talk, maybe for both myself and for the listeners here. So rest up today and show up tomorrow and try to put down one jam. Nothing crazy. Maybe make it really simple. Maybe just play your instrument, play a couple chords, make a little melody, make a beat. Don't overthink it, so that you kind of set the standard for just a really low bar is what I'm trying to say. Set a really low bar so that you can actually make it each day of the month. So this will be January 2020. I look forward to hearing what you do. Thanks a lot for listening. And again, just a reminder, if you do join the Music Production Club before January 2nd, you can get all of those fun packs I told you about in the beginning. It's like a ton of stuff. It's the biggest and best time to join the club. A lot of people have joined, and I'm super psyched about that. Thank you to all you new members. And please get involved in the Discord channel. We're just getting that going, and it's starting to come to life a little bit. And it's exciting to hear people's music, their ideas, their tips. And I hope to make that an even bigger community. So thanks again for listening. This is Brian Funk, and this has been the Music Production Podcast. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of 2019, and all the best in 2020.